And we're back.
Yay.
Give us 1 second. We got to call Grant.
Yeah, I got to start this out right.
Yep. He's not going to answer. There's no way. It's 12:57. He's obviously doing something fun.
Sleepy.
Eating.
Sleepy boy, wake up.
Hey, babies.
My housewarming gift to you is going to be like toilet paper and...
Hello?
Domino's delivery service. We bring smiles and disappointment. What can I do for you?
I mean, I think I've only ever received disappointment from you.
We never get pizza from you.
Yeah. Well, they don't deliver pizza. They deliver smiles and disappointment.
Extra disappointment.
Shut the fuck up. I already told you this. Be quieter.
Hey, Grant. To be professional
Hey,
here.
Grant, you're on the podcast again.
You guys are doing this.
Shut up. You're so goddamn loud. I can't even hear.
What the both literal and figurative fuck?
Yeah, so we saw
Welcome back
Captain
to the
Marvel
podcast.
today. So Grant, what did you think of Captain Marvel?
Yeah, give us the...
What did I think of Captain Marvel? I thought she would have been better suited as more of like a Lieutenant Marvel, or maybe just a Private Marvel.
I can't hear you anymore, but
You can't hear me anymore.
Wally, you're gonna have to do this. Hold on.
I actually haven't seen Captain Marvel yet either.
Oh, really?
Would it be? But if I were to make entire, just guesses and assumptions
please do that.
that are wildly accurate, because I'm always right and I know exactly what Marvel Studios is thinking at any time.
Yeah,
My
you do.
favorite scene in the movie was probably when Batman showed up and bitch slapped Homer Simpson, and then Captain Marvel had to come in and rescue Mary Poppins from the dragon from How to Toothless. There you go. That was my favorite part of the movie.
Okay, so you got the whole first act, the first
Yeah,
quarter of
that's
the
the
movie
first
down.
5
Okay,
minutes.
so after that, what was your favorite part? What do you think?
After that, what was my favorite part?
After Batman came in, bitch slapped. Who was it again?
A dragon?
It was
The
Homer
dragon was
Simpson.
there.
I think it was when we got to watch her sit down and watch a bag of popcorn pop in real time. It was super meta, but I totally understood the emotional weight that they were trying to convey with that, and the symbolic representation that popcorn had for the Skrull people.
Yeah, and it was just total criticism of capitalism, which I mean, it's a bold move. It's a bold move for Marvel. Let's be honest.
For Marvel, a company based pretty much entirely in capitalistic tendencies, to move in more of a
it's like a
not
small
quite
business. It's like promote
neo-communist
small and local
direction
business.
that is
They
pretty
were
odd.
telling you not to watch the movie.
Yeah,
It's pretty incredible.
there was a split second where just "please get up and leave" flashed on the screen.
And then she looked at the screen and was like,
Wow,
what the fuck are you
that's
still
taking
doing?
even a step further than
It was
with the Ferris Bueller
I was
thing,
gonna
get
say
outta
no.
here.
It was basically Ferris Bueller. She was in a robe,
In
and
that
she was just
robe,
like,
yeah, just
"Why?
coming
What
out
are
of
you
the
doing
shower,
here? It's over." And then it wasn't over. But I totally
That was
agree.
only 10 minutes into the movie.
That was 10 minutes into the movie, Grant. You seem to be skirting around the fact of not wanting to talk about what happens later in the movie.
it gets kind of awkward.
Yeah, but
it hit a little too close to home, that scene in particular did. So I'll leave that to your expert criticism. But
okay. Well, we'll let you go. I mean, we've talked to you for 3 minutes.
Yeah,
we'll let
thanks
you go.
again
Thank
for
you
the
so
review,
much.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're the best intro ever.
Yeah, you're the best intro. Is just a great review from a very informed person. And, we just love having you on the podcast. So this is going to be a regular thing. So just be ready for
just
that.
Be ready at any time.
Anytime. Anytime to talk about.
Just random points in my life. Expect a call from Ryan and Wally.
Yeah. Yep. You
Okay,
will always,
sounds good.
you will
Thanks.
always, you should always be
Answer
ready.
that call, dude.
Answer that call.
All right. Good luck with the rest of the podcast, and say hi to our mutual friend Patrick Rothfuss for me.
Will do. Will do.
Absolutely.
Yep. Have a nice Saturday.
Love you.
All right. See you guys.
Love you. All right, guys. So that was our new segment, 3-minute reviews
Yeah.
with Grant Luberta, otherwise known as Panda Lover 69. No, that was his girlfriend. He's the cum cuck lord.
He's the cum cuck lord. Because Big Dick over here is Big Dick.
Yeah, Big Dick over here.
Big Dick, yeah, butt chug.
Yeah, we have Big Dick on the podcast again after.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the Big Dick, but his Big Dick is quite scared of scary movies.
Yeah.
So
Just goes inside of him.
it shrivels up like it actually swings around and goes into his butthole.
Yeah.
Because it's too big. Like it's too big. It gets
more
bigger
than seeing a horror movie. So
It
I
is.
did not want to see that.
No, so we didn't invite him to see this movie because we knew what would happen and we didn't want to see it. Because he does,
I mean,
he
his
does
Big
always.
Dick was still all over the place.
I was gonna say
for Marvel, dude.
he does always go to the movies naked, so we would
Yeah.
have to see his big dick do things if we went to a scary movie.
Mhm.
So I'm Ryan.
I'm Wally.
I'm Big Dick.
God, that's Carl.
Yeah, that's
Um,
Carl, come on.
And
Show some
you're
plays,
yeah,
dude.
you guys are back for another episode of the Film Fucks. I mean,
Woo woo!
Woo
Phil
woo.
Fox.
Film
Yay.
thank you, Ollie, our
Yay.
incredible, like our one fan.
Woo! Captain Marvel. Yay.
Yes,
Another
so-
Marvel movie.
Yes, so we
Yay.
saw yet another Marvel movie.
5th Marvel movie of the month. Yay.
Yay, and
Never ending Marvel. Yay.
yeah. Okay, so this is the funniest thing ever. Let's just go right into the hypocrisy of this goddamn franchise.
Yeah, spoilers all over the place.
No, they literally, so they start the movie, right before the movie, obviously, they have a trailer for Endgame. You see, Captain Marvel is in the trailer for Endgame. She's gonna be in that movie. Then at the end of the fucking movie, you see in the crawl, it says, Captain Marvel will return in Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, it's a fun little,
Fuck
like,
off.
James
No,
Bond thing.
fuck you. Stop doing that shit. Don't,
It's tradition, right?
I don't give a shit if it's tradition. It's stupid and redundant. Either don't show the Endgame
Just
trailer
like this
there.
franchise, yay.
Well, yeah, no shit. Everything about this franchise is dumb and overplayed. Carl,
Now you're just being a little
Fuck
mean.
yeah, and I'm not being
Just turn
mean.
the car.
I'm not
Fuck
being
you.
I'm not being mean. I'm being realistic.
Yeah.
But it is
So
funny.
you're getting very fatigued by this franchise.
I'm over it. I'm so over it. This brought be good or be be really good or be really bad. Every Marvel movie
It's
is
just
just
okay. Yeah, this one was very eh.
Yeah.
Carl?
Carl?
Your thoughts?
First thoughts? What do you think of
Yeah,
that?
give us your review.
Like, are you ever so?
Will you ever see this
No.
movie again?
What are some movies, thinking back, that really like they when you think about them, you're just like right in the pit of your stomach, like or in your chest, or like you really feel it's like this is like an impactful movie for me. This is a movie that like not changed your life, but had like an impact on you long term.
When it comes to like a Marvel movie?
No,
or
any
just
movie, any movie.
Could be any movie. Could be a Marvel
Dude,
movie.
it's the first one that I chose for our review that we're gonna be doing.
Oh, Princess Bride.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, has a Marvel movie ever created in you the same feelings you got from the Princess Bride?
I think the closest one.
But it hasn't.
I'll,
Not,
Carl,
not
also
that,
get
not
closer
that
to
deep
the
of a cut.
microphone.
Not that deep. Exactly.
Wait.
But
He's got some.
the closest one would probably be Iron Man 1.
Of course.
See, that's what everyone
That's
says.
what-
I even said that too.
Exactly. That's what everybody
It's the
says because
first
it was
one.
the first one. It was new. Nothing else. Nothing else
And
gets
you say it was
fucking
new? I was
close.
also sick of superhero movies at that point because we had 3 X-Men movies, 3 Spider-Man movies.
Look, I don't think the majority of people saw the X-Men movies. I think a lot of people saw Spider-Man,
yeah,
but
so I
the
was
X-Men
already
movies,
sick of
yeah.
superheroes at this point.
You really
Yeah.
want to know what's funny though?
That's
That
why I
was-
saw Speed Racer instead. Shout out
Fuck
to
off.
2008 Speed Racer.
When it comes to all of these movies, that wasn't even the first one that I saw.
Which
like-
one was the first one you saw?
The first Marvel Cinematic Universe movie that I saw was actually Iron Man 2.
get out of here, Carl. You're
Get the
no
fuck
longer a
out. We
fan.
don't
Get
talk
out.
about that. Yeah.
How dare you?
I actually had to backtrack and watch those. Like Hulk and Iron Man.
So, which one? Okay, well said.
Sorry.
Well said. Which one really got you into the Marvel movies then?
Yeah.
Was it
So, like, we did
2?
Iron
You're
Man
like, now
2.
I gotta see all these movies. Like, which one was it where you're like, okay, now I'm like totally in? Like for me, like it was the first Avengers movie. I was like, okay, this culminated into something. And I'm like, let's see where they go from here. And at this point, I'm sick of it. But the first Avengers was the one where I'm like, oh yeah, okay, they're doing something with this.
Well, Iron Man 2 got my attention because I ended up going to the movies with, I think it was Chad and Scott.
Gotcha.
And then
Not friends of the podcast.
yeah, and then I backtracked, watched those movies, saw Thor, and then I was like, you know what, I'm hooked. And then I knew that they were coming out with the Avengers. That was a really good movie.
Which is your favorite Marvel movie to date?
Out of
50,000.
I was gonna say, how many are there?
I have no idea.
Damn, that's surprising. I thought you would know. It's like
I think
19 or 20 or something like that.
It's close to 20. It's
yeah.
getting close.
It's something like that. But
Yeah.
out of all of them, it would have to be the first Avengers movie. I just like how they brought them all together. Biggest cast at that moment in time. It had never been done. Attempted anything like that.
Off, you piece of shit.
You can edit that out.
No, you can't, because it was over Carl talking.
Okay, Carl, say that again.
Well, it would be the Avengers movie. Would be my favorite out of all of them because at that moment in time, something that big with that many characters that were all integral to the storyline and plot had never been attempted before. It was something that Stan Lee always wanted to do.
Well, I mean, he
finally
did that with
came
the
to
comics. He
fruition.
just wasn't sure if that was going to happen, like with movies.
Yeah.
So, what did you guys think of the first Avengers trailer when you saw it? Like, go back to, was it 2012 or whenever that fucking movie came out? Because I thought it looked like one of the Transformer movies. I'm like, this is going to be terrible.
Well, I think, because at that point, I mean, the most, like, alien stuff we really got was Thor's stuff. Like, that
Right.
We didn't really see that, like, alien threat until the Avengers.
That's true.
It was hinted in some after credit sequences, but, so I think in that instance, yeah, I kind of agree. It kind of felt Transformers-y
It also felt
or...
like Star Wars prequel-y.
Oh, okay, specifically Captain Marvel for me.
I'm also talking about the first Avengers.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Like,
we're just kind of getting our thoughts of this whole franchise.
oh yeah, I'm so sick. Like, I will say definitively, the fact that it has had 20 installments and not a single one of them can produce the amount of like emotional investment that any other type of movie can in somebody proves that these types of movies are failures at being good entertainment, at being lasting entertainment. I don't think anybody's going to care about these anymore. It's doing the same thing that the Sam Raimi Spider-Man did. It's like they tried to make it impactful so that it would last. It did not. But
do you feel that's just gonna be typical of superhero movies though? Like, is there a superhero movie that you feel is like?
I think there can be, but nobody is doing that. Everybody's doing something.
Which you would say is one that came close to being like a real important movie and important superhero movie?
None.
Okay.
And
even
maybe
like The Dark Knight or something like that?
I mean, okay, yes. Yeah, The Dark Knight, I guess, is definitively like an incredible movie.
Right. And it holds up on its own.
Yes,
so you don't
it
need to know
does.
anything about Batman.
And maybe it's because
I
they
would
used a
also
lot.
say those Sam Raimi movies are still pretty good.
They're pretty good. They're not impactful. They're not great. They're good, just like every other Marvel movie.
They're good kids movies. I think it's good.
It's fucking not a kids movie. I will debate this until I die.
Well,
but
with great powers come great responsibility.
it's a
That's
coming of
message
age
that-
story. Not a kid. Like, you wouldn't take an age.
Yeah, it's a coming of age story.
Yeah.
Like it. Again, like, would you say Star Wars is a kids movie?
No, it's
'Cause
coming of age.
It can be both though, and I think Star
That's
Wars.
insane.
Yeah, it can be both.
No.
Because stuff like before Star Wars was made, like that kind of sci-fi stuff was seen as more like kiddie fare.
Yeah,
then they
and
showed,
this
like,
was
all
trying to
yeah.
be not kiddie fair, meaning it's not a kids. It's
But it
not
could also
a kids
appeal to
movie.
kids too.
Well, obviously, but
Yeah.
that doesn't make it a kids movie. Like, when I was a kid, I liked watching stuff explode. That doesn't mean going to see freaking or seeing like medieval stuff. That doesn't mean when I saw Troy when I was 11 that makes it a kids movie.
Well,
I
mean,
like we're
that's
just
more-
re-debate. We're just
This is
debating.
going on.
Yeah, we always do this. Or I always do this.
Okay, so firm stance on the franchise. Ryan is sick of it at this
I
point.
I want them to do so much more and slow down and take
Yeah.
every movie for what it is instead of doing an installment or like installment things that aren't going to actually amount to that much
Okay.
emotional impact.
I will say, like, I appreciate the franchise more than actually, like, enjoying these movies at this point. I am kind of sick of the movies themselves, but I do appreciate that they're trying to act as, like, interconnected stories like a comic book would act. So they do feel more like a comic book than your, like, typical movie.
Yeah.
It's all interconnected, so...
Yep.
I mean, you kind of love it or hate it at this point. And at this point, I'm kind of indifferent about it.
Yeah,
And Carl.
Carl.
So we got indifference, hated. What's your stance?
Oh, I love it. Like,
Why?
I'm an action movie guy.
But like, does that
I guess
is
these are
just
like
seeing
the
stuff
action-
explode?
Mm.
Is that enough to not account for the fact that there's a lot of stuff just doesn't make sense?
It's a decent storyline.
Is it?
Also, I don't know.
You're not- so, like-
some movies are better than others.
You jumped so hard into wanting to do Princess Bride. Like, it's obvious that there's this like deep-seated emotional attachment to it. Don't you want that from like when the quote with
Look-
great power comes great responsibility? That had a lot of impact for a lot of people.
Yeah,
including
and
me.
I feel like in that
There's
movie, that
never
was-
been anything in Marvel.
You don't have like an
Like,
Uncle Ben moment.
Would
No.
would I love a deeper cut movie? Yeah. But at the same time, not everybody gets that from every movie. You know, so, some people, other movies impact them more than others.
But
Right.
in a
so
in
what-
a in a
what
franchise,
About, what about Marvel impacts you? What is it about these movies that keeps you coming back?
well, we know it's the action.
That's it.
It's the action. I think they hit the nail on the head with their casting pretty well. Like
What do we
90%
think
of the
of
time.
Brie Larson as?
Oh, I loved her.
I-
I thought she was awesome.
I thought
Yeah,
she was
I mean,
great.
she like
She's just-
I think a lot of people came in with a lot of opinions about her. I thought she
Alright.
did great.
Yeah,
I'm
she-
sick of the character she was playing. I think she could have been more because she's just Iron Man. She's female Iron Man, just like
She's
Thor.
also just like
She's
Female
more of a-
Quill.
She
She's
can
more
do
of a
it.
Female Quill.
She's more of a female Captain America.
No, not at all.
Not yet. Not yet. But that's where.
No, it's you're just going
she's
off of the fact
Spider-Man.
that she's like Captain Marvel. She has the American suit, but it's like she's very sarcastic. She's very quippy. She's very like
She's like all these other. characters.
whatever. I'm way better than everybody else. Whatever, I'll do whatever I want, sort of thing. It's like overcome like the
Well, the
self-made
whole thing is
person
she's
that's
supposed to be a
overcoming.
blank slate, but she still has the sarcastic.
Yeah, like she has this very she's supposed to be a blank slate in an alien society, but she still has this very clear like American sarcasm that she just loves pulling out and everybody's sick of it, but who cares cuz in the end she's the hero. That's fucking Iron Man.
that is, and I think that's where they like screwed up a little bit in the writing
Yeah, yes.
because
Because,
her
yeah, all these
character is
characters
supposed to
kind
be
of
more of
interchangeable.
like a female Captain America.
Yeah.
and you don't get that.
Yeah, and I mean, it seems like and this is like newer Marvel stuff, they're turning almost everybody into that like quippy, sarcastic character.
Yep.
Like Thor became that after Thor Ragnarok.
Except for Black Panther, he doesn't do quips.
Oh, just you wait, buddy. He's only been around for one movie.
3 movies.
Well, he's
Civil
only been
War.
around for his own
own
one
movie.
movie. Just wait, in 2 more movies, he's gonna start doing this shit.
He'll be like, I'm sick of this shit, and just
Yeah.
he'll bounce.
Yep.
I'm gonna start my own franchise.
Yep. And he'll
Start my own
throw.
Black Panther franchise.
There's gonna be a lot of guerrilla marketing, and it'll. Yeah. You
It'll
guys
be
didn't
huge.
get that. It's okay.
Okay.
But I don't know. What do we want to talk about?
Okay, so plot synopsis of this movie. It's about this woman who doesn't know about her past. She's brought into this alien culture as this like super fighting force, and her past ends up catching up with her, and it brings her back to Earth, where she figures out who she truly is, and that's pretty much the
Yeah.
basic plot of this movie.
Yeah. Samuel L. Jackson loses his eye.
He loses his eye, and
Such
such great
Spoiler.
job.
Spoiler, we'll talk about that later. That's something we need to tease out, just
Hell
like they
yeah.
fucking did in this goddamn movie. Every
That's
chance they
true.
got, it's like, oh my god,
This
he got
was
hit in
like
the
the
face.
one-
Did he lose his eye? Who the fuck cares about how he lost his eye? Do you, when you saw him in the first Avengers movie, he's got
Like,
the
I
eye
gotta
patch, and you're
know.
like, I gotta know.
gotta know.
We gotta talk about this at some point. No, I don't think anybody cares, do they?
I didn't care, but I appreciated the fact that they put it in there.
But the fact that
They
they
do-
kept
they
teasing
really
it,
do.
they kept
They needed to.
They're like, oh, this looks like a
Did-
guy who's gonna lose an eye.
they
Look at
kept
this guy.
cupping the balls in like and like teasing
She
that
just
this
shows
is
up,
going to
she's like, Aren't
happen.
you supposed to be missing an eye? Wait a second.
Just you wait, buddy. We're gonna make a
We're getting
reference
there.
to it 3 times, and then it's finally gonna happen in
They
the
didn't really
most.
stretch
just-
out the jokes in this. Like they
Yeah.
played the rules of 3 like 5 times.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They didn't. Yeah.
I would say the typical Marvel humor wasn't as good as it is in the other movies. Like I think maybe we're just getting sick of it at this point, but this still has the Marvel humor. Not as good as it is in other movies, but it's still there.
Yeah. I think Marvel got into this
'Cause
lane of like it needs to be like quippy
Needs to
humor,
be funny.
and now
like after like Guardians of the Galaxy, they're like, oh, now all of these have to be funny. Like that one
Exactly.
is a legitimate comedy. That's
Yeah.
actually funny.
and if you look at that, the jokes that they're making are the same thing. It's just
It's
that
just-
at this
yeah.
point we've seen it in 4 different movies since Guardians.
It's like, yeah, you
and
gotta
it's,
choose
like,
something
over.
else. Like they try to make this emotional, and those emotional moments should have some impact. Like they're good ideas, but they don't play out in the movie.
No,
all
like
that well.
yeah, they were so underdeveloped, and this kind of jumps back to like the writing for this was terrible. Like they go to her partner's
It's just kinda
house.
confusing.
Yeah, they go to her partner's house, and she doesn't remember anything. But then after 2 minutes, she's making like jokes about, oh yeah, like when we used to fly, like I was always great, and the rules of engagement sort of stuff. And it's like, we know that you don't remember all this stuff. Like, how are you, either how are you getting these memories when we've also been following what memories you're getting back and when?
Mm-hmm.
And
It did, like, again, to bring up the comic book thing, it does play out more like a comic book where you gotta kind of piece it together. I mean, it doesn't give you, like, all the facts and all the backstory, which would be interesting if you could do it right for a movie, but this, we're like, we gotta get to the action, we gotta get to the stuff that people came here to see, because they know that's their focus.
yeah, it's interesting because it almost seems like
And I don't know, even the action in this wasn't that great.
yeah, it seems like what Marvel's trying. What
They just showed her, like, oh, she's gonna kick Thanos' ass.
Oh yeah, she was just
Yeah.
absolutely destroying like every
Mhm.
single thing. I mean, it looked cool, but like
She didn't go, like, fight against, like, one person. Like, Jude Law, I guess, is...
all she did was punch him really hard and he
Yeah,
flew
and
back.
that was it. Like, I
Yep.
kind of like that it was, like, you thought it was going to be a badass fight. They just
No, I
teased it.
immediately knew. Like,
Yeah.
I knew it was just gonna
Well,
be
the
like,
way he said he was talking, it's like,
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
you
that
have to
one
prove
fit this
yourself
movie.
to
no,
me.
not
Yeah,
yeah.
you have to prove yourself to me, and then boom. That's
Oh
it.
yeah, like just one punch out, like and
She's one punch
well, and you know, like they've been suppressing this. This is a power that's inside of her, and like saying you need to or like you need to fight me without it. It's like no, this is
She's
like
like,
to
"Fuck
prove
you."
yourself.
Yeah.
You need to fight me without a power that is you, that is inside of you, that is a part of you. It's like that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I immediately and I laughed
was
so
really
hard
dumb.
when she just punched him.
That was
'Cause
funny.
I don't know.
I don't know. She needed, like, it would have been more interesting if there's someone. I guess you can't do that with the first movie necessarily. Like, a villain for her would just have the same powers as she does. Like in the first Iron Man, he just fights another
A bigger-
Iron Man,
a bigger Iron Man.
better
Yep.
Iron Man.
Yep.
So they needed a bigger, better Captain Marvel for her to fight, which will be Thanos.
Oh
So-
yeah, and I mean she just rips through a gigantic spaceship, like just
Yeah.
straight
Like it was
through it.
nothing.
Yeah, I really wanted them to put like I
At
told
that
Wally
point-
this,
yeah, oh,
where it's
okay.
like a guy just like you just see a guy fly across the screen, like she hits him, and then you just hear the classic Wilhelm scream because it was so.
Yeah, I was waiting.
I know it would have been so great because it would have just been like that. To me, is more funny as just like a throwaway bit than any of the like sarcasm.
Right. It's like there needed to be something going on with the action because, like, I'm like, oh, this is just CG garbage.
That's
like,
it's just CG. Like none of that was real unless she's like laying on like she's like
And I mean, that's-
Superman
okay.
laying.
And the thing is, like, it's not that like CG is inherently bad. It's like you just got to do something with it that strikes some sort of emotion. Like the action's just playing out, it's like I'd rather be playing it in a video game than I'm more invested
Yeah,
because I'm
or
like doing the
watching
moves
an
and stuff.
animation, like an animated movie or something like that. It's like
Right,
you're adding
lot of-
real humans for a reason.
Right, like with animes, like the fight scenes are so impactful in those because like they tell you something about the character.
Yeah,
Like you're supposed to learn something about the character through the fight, and we just like, oh, she's reached this god level mode. Like, oh yeah, she's just a human, but no, she's not. She's just Superman.
yeah, yeah.
Pretty much.
Oh yeah. What else we can talk about? I don't know. I'm pretty tapped. I just like not to be mean, but like I mean, I thought it was.
I thought the tones were kind of all over the place too. Like, I don't think the funny parts were as funny as well balanced as they are in other Marvel movies. Like, I felt it was like part Guardians of the Galaxy, part this kind of like. I like the team stuff at the beginning. I'm not gonna lie. I always like when there's like a team of like mercenaries or something like that. I mean, think that's always can be interesting.
It felt a lot like because I really when we first saw Aquaman, the like group at the beginning, the group of soldiers that were like taking that sub, the like renegades.
Yeah.
I felt like it would have been cool to see like their dynamic, but then they immediately were like killed and destroyed.
Right, just for him to come.
Yeah, just for and
like
yeah, just as like a single person. I want to see like group dynamics play out, and I feel like Marvel movies or like
if
superhero
there's one
movies.
thing I could give this movie credit, it didn't feel like 5 movies like Aquaman.
It didn't.
It did not.
No.
It just the beginning was a little confusing. You're just kind of thrown into the action. I thought, the pacing at the beginning is just all over the place. I'm like, I couldn't grasp onto anything right away, but I guess that was kind of the point for you to just to understand more as she's also getting it.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was interesting concepts. I always like shape-shifting elements that could have been used in a little bit more of a clever way. We just find out halfway through the shapeshifters are the spoilers are the good guys. So
yeah, or the oppressed guys. But Carl, do you read DC at all? So I mean, well, did you watch Supergirl?
I do watch Supergirl.
Okay, is Martian Manhunter in that or in?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he is.
Because the Kree, is it Kree or Scree?
The Skrull.
Skrull.
Yeah.
That's it. Sorry,
Yeah.
whatever. The Kree are the bad guys. The Skrull are just Martian Manhunters.
Pretty much.
Like that's exactly what they are.
I mean, I don't know which was created first. I mean, these are characters from the 50s and 60s. And yeah, Marvel and DC do have a reputation of like ripping each other off. Like Hawkeye's just Green Arrow.
Well, and you just said that she's just like Superman. Like
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So there was.
But it's funny because
I mean, Shazam was originally called Captain Marvel too.
Well, and that's weird.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. But a lot of the stuff that they like kind of jump back and forth with is stuff that like they haven't really talked about since the 50s or 60s or stuff like that. But I mean, Martian Manhunter's in a current show, and I feel like Marvel does try to avoid like directly copying something that like their audience would also know from another group.
Right, I guess you can get away with it if it's more of a side character. Then it's just like developing.
I don't know.
It's
He
more
was
world building, or it's very clearly,
very important to the plot is that
Okay.
this guy's shape shifting, and also the rest of his family, who he makes it seem like there's only a few people left, and then all of a sudden it's like no, there's thousands and thousands of these people.
Just
Well,
scattered.
yeah, he didn't want to
just scattered. Yeah, but it's
That-
like
yeah.
no, there's only a few left. We're gonna die. Like we're gonna
they're
die.
prisoners. Like they're all like refugees and stuff.
Well, yes, they are.
But
But
there's a lot of them. Yeah.
they made it seem like they were like the last of their kind. Like there's only like 10 or 15 of them, but it's like there's thousands.
I don't know if that was supposed to be commentary on like our current immigration problems.
Oh, 100%. Like
Or
they
tried
kept
to-
chanting, "Build the wall, build the wall."
Where's the wall?
Like, the Kree
And then
kept saying,
Thanos
"Build the
comes in and
wall."
makes a
Yeah,
wall.
and Thanos snaps his fingers, and there's like walls, and they're like, "What are we supposed to do with this?" And he's like, "I don't know. You guys
Yeah,
said
here's
build
a
the wall."
ladder.
Climate.
Yeah.
What did
Fan-
you guys think of the 90s theme? of
They
the
pushed
movie?
it a lot at first. Like they went through all their '90s nostalgia within the first like 10 minutes of introducing it, and then it was like, now we're in the woods, so it doesn't really matter.
But then the computer,
Well,
they're
yeah, and they
waiting
have the
for that
jokes with the
sound bite to
computer.
load.
It's like, are kids going to actually think that's funny? It's like we, as old, aging
Well, it's
20-year-olds, understand the problems of 1990s dial-up and that stuff.
Well, and I totally made the joke at the beginning because she crash lands in a blockbuster. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, what is this
Like,
archaic?
and that's what a lot of little kids are probably gonna say. Because
What's your blockbuster?
yeah, what's a
you guys do know
blockbuster?
that there is
What's a
actually
Radio
one
Shack?
blockbuster still around.
Yeah,
right?
we do. Like all these kids are gonna know about that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know the struggle of having to rewind your fucking tapes, or else you get a
VHS.
charge.
Why is this DVD so chunky?
Yeah,
It's a brick.
chunky,
That's right, kids. We had chunky DVDs back in the day.
chunky
They were called
DVDs. They're called VHSs. They
You had to
actually had
rewind that. There was
physical
no
tape.
special features. Yeah.
Yeah, you had to.
You had to work
rewind
for it, all right?
Yeah.
You had to work for it if you wanted to rewatch that tape.
Yep. You had to strip
Mm-hmm.
for the tape. No, and then occasionally it'll eat your tape, and tape goes everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
guys.
so much fun.
You know, we're 90s babies. We totally remember all the like worst parts of technology. Like VHSs,
Yes.
they were the worst. Nobody had to go through more struggles than we did
Than us
with
90s
VHSs
kids, yeah.
and then CDs and
We didn't have everything
DVDs.
on our phone, all right? We had to go to stores. We had to go outside.
What's a phone?
What? Yeah.
Okay.
A phone is everything now.
What's the earliest number you guys remember having? Like phone wise, like home phone wise, because I remember when I lived in Georgia,
remember,
this was
yeah,
like 2001.
We had one of those like
2000.
wind-up phones. We had a phone that was
Do you remember the
even
number
older
though?
than.
See,
Not
that's
now.
the thing. Is
Yeah.
I remember my family's number from when we lived in Georgia, which was like
Jesus.
2000 to 2004. Carl, anything?
Oh God. Phone wise, I remember my grandparents. They had a landline in their basement.
Mm-hmm.
Was it one where you would like swipe the numbers?
No,
Had a little,
Those
like,
are
turn-
pain in
actually,
the
like,
ass.
hung
Yeah.
up, you picked it up. You could dial off.
Oh,
here,
I'm-
but it was just hanging right there. You know.
With a
And-
super long like cord that
And
always
s-
gets
big
screwed
old
up, the
chunky-
little spiral
Yeah,
cord.
the spiral cord.
Oh god, those are a nightmare.
You kids don't know the struggles of the spiral cords.
Well, yeah, guys, just call this number and see if it's still active. So the number is 727, or it's just 727-2671. I can't remember what the area code is. It's Savannah, Georgia area code,
Okay.
so look that up. But it's
See if it's still around.
727-2671. Call that. I will answer.
Yeah.
I will break into somebody's house and answer
They'll
it.
still have that phone there.
They will.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's how phones work.
Yep. Okay, Carl's gonna go take a big fat.
A nasty shit.
Jesus. I was trying to think of something else to say so we didn't.
Big
just
old poo.
keep- Yep. Big. No, I was just like gonna avoid going to the bathroom humor.
Yeah, he's making a sandwich.
No, he's blowing his nose. God. Okay, Wally.
So this movie sucks.
Ah,
No, it doesn't
alright.
suck. It's okay. We're really sick of these movies.
Yeah. I don't want to see
But I like the.
Endgame.
Yeah.
I don't-
The CG cat scared me. I'm not
Dude,
gonna lie.
I love
That
the
freaking
cat.
cat.
That's the only good part about it, but it also made no sense because she says at the beginning the whatever her name is.
Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel.
Marvel.
Marvel says at the beginning.
Marvel. It's
Fuck
too.
off! It's
it's
two
too many
words. Well, who cares? I thought I was okay. Sorry to be like super spazzy. I really thought because when the guy was holding his ID and you couldn't see his last name, Nick Fury's last name, I thought it was gonna be something different, and he just calls himself Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was
like
gonna be something like
felonious.
Nick Fluffy or something like that. I was like,
That
that'd
would have
be
been funny.
so great if it turns out his real name is something different and he just goes by Nick Fury and everybody
Just-
knows him as that.
My real name's Nick, Nick
What,
Nerd.
what does your mom call you, Fury? What about your kids? If I ever have them, Fury.
Yeah.
Fury Jr.
Nobody calls me
FJ,
Nick. Nobody calls
son
me
of a
Nicholas.
Fury.
Nobody calls me.
Yeah, but okay. There was so many like that was such a one-off thing because
I mean, just for it to play off.
people
later.
do call him Nick.
Yes.
Like
but not
later,
very many.
but still,
Yeah, later
don't
on,
make
but-
it like a point for him to say nobody calls me Nick or Nicholas or anything
That
like
was
that.
just to have it
Just
so-
to have it so they could
But
say
you also have to remember this movie takes place in the 90s before Iron Man.
where he's
before
gotten so much
Captain
laxer.
America.
Because as you know, as people age, they get way more chill about stuff. They stop worrying about everything. They don't really care if people call them by the
Also,
right
when
name.
you're young,
Yes.
you also still act like 70-year-old man.
Yeah,
You
you
still
still
move.
run like a 70-year-old man.
I mean, they couldn't do anything about
No.
that. It still really stood out. It's like, okay, Sam Jackson is de-aged in this, but every time he moves, it's like, yeah, that guy's not 30-something or
Yeah.
however old he's
He
supposed
struggles
to
to pick up a cat.
be. Yeah.
But yeah, it was
For
just
me, there's also one sad part about this movie.
Okay, what's the sad part?
the tits.
Yeah.
Clark Gregg, who plays
Yeah.
Phil Coulson. This is most likely his last role playing Phil Coulson.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, I know you guys don't watch Marvel.
Well, he almost had.
Shield,
Yeah,
and he was
He'll get
in
his
that,
own movie, dude.
in that show.
No,
he
he doesn't
died in
wanna
that
do it anymore.
show.
But then he came back.
He
Didn't-
died in
he died
Avengers.
again?
He came back for
And then
that
died
show.
again. Christ.
Died in that show. They have
funny.
already confirmed that he is dead. They brought him back for this movie because it takes place in the
In the
90s,
past.
you know. So
Yeah.
he is alive.
That's.
But as far as I know,
Who
this is
cares?
I'm
I
okay.
don't
I'm
care.
okay with that.
He's a great actor, and I
He is-
love how
yeah.
he plays Phil Coulson.
Yeah,
Well, I like that
I
he's
mean-
a fanboy. Like, he was funny in Avengers where, like, he's
Yeah.
just a big Captain Marvel fanboy.
Well, and then-
I did enjoy that.
No, Captain America.
Or-
Yeah, and
What?
then
Who?
he has. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Same people.
Okay.
But and then yeah.
Oh, it's all the same.
Well, and yeah, at this point, I mean, they've jumped the shark so many times with Agent Coulson specifically because it's like he gets killed.
He just had
They
more
use him.
hair.
He's the emotional linchpin of the first Avengers movie.
Right.
And then
He's
they
what-
fucking bring him back for a goddamn TV show. No, don't
Well,
let
no
him be
one watched
dead.
that TV show.
Carl
so-
watched it. Are you
well,
telling me he's nobody?
Carl's the
I
only
watched
one
the
who
first
watched
season,
that. You guys are the only two people I know who have watched that.
and it was. I didn't need it. He didn't need to be there.
I mean, he dies again anyway, so it's not like
That's
I need to
insane.
see
That
the
it's like
show.
they were.
Yeah,
all,
6
they used.
seasons later.
I was gonna say, and they took
6
it was like
seasons. Christ.
Well, actually 5. I think season 6
Still.
comes out
Oh my god.
sometime this
well,
year.
and they worked so hard in the show to explain how they brought him back. Like that was a major
Oh, yeah.
arc in that
It was
series.
a clone, right?
No,
no.
they like rebuilt his heart in this. I can't remember
His
what they
brain,
call. Oh,
too.
Tahiti.
Yeah, Tahiti.
Yeah.
Yep.
In
Oh,
Tahiti,
please.
which was a code name for a special like alien.
Okay, now I'm
tech-
officially sick of Marvel
Yeah.
stuff. I don't want to hear about the fucking TV shows.
Jesus.
Goddamn.
Yeah, it took them like 4 or 5 episodes to talk about how they brought him back.
Oh no, like it was
But
referenced
it was
from the
referenced
very
for, like-
first episode
yeah.
all the way
I'm
to the
just
end
a
of season
girl.
1
Yep.
when they was it season 1 or the middle of season 2 where
It
they
was
explained
season 1, but season 2 brought back like
Mr.
his side effects from
Postman.
Tahiti.
yeah
And
okay
then that's how like
And then they
the
find
Inhumans
Tahiti,
finally
right.
like were starting to get introduced.
Well,
This is
don't
such
they
engaging
find
podcast
Tahiti?
stuff.
in the like the yeah,
was great.
Like
for some reason
Tahiti
it,
was like a
wasn't it
a
the
base.
mid-season wasn't it like the mid-season finale when they go to Tahiti to try and figure out what's causing his issues?
I think so.
Okay, so that's a good season and a half of
Yeah.
them dealing with this stupid thing. Just let him die. Yeah. While he's sleeping really poorly. Like he's actually, we brought a pig on. Stop doing that.
He had a
Jesus.
little seizure there for a second.
Oh, are we done talking about this garbage?
Yes, we
oh
are.
my god.
Okay. It's
Time for a commercial.
time for a commercial. Guys, we'll be back in a second.
Fuck off.
Don't say it. I said it. We're not saying it. We're so sloppy about it. Fuck off.
Yo, what up, cool dudes? It's
What
us
up?
from Blockbuster.
Yeah, we're the fat guys from
the
Blockbuster
fat
Video.
boys.
No, the fat PHAT dude. Come on, get
yeah,
with it.
get right. Get wiggity
Yeah,
wiggity right.
wiggity wick. We got
90s.
all the freshest stuff. We got the first season of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
We got the second season of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. We
We got
got
Jumanji.
we got the newly released Jumanji. I mean, this movie's crazy.
Dude,
There's like
it's
monkeys.
the best movie ever
Like,
made.
were those real
It's
monkeys?
it looks so goddamn real, dude. That's
Were
got,
tho-
that's
those,
gotta be
those
real.
gotta be real monkeys.
Just like in Jurassic Park. I heard they brought back
God.
real dinosaurs
Real
for that, dude.
yeah. I mean,
I mean, what else could it be?
cloning. Like, I
Right?
think they cloned a sheep.
They actually, yeah, that's real.
That's real, guys. They're
Yeah.
cloning things now. I'm gonna be a
That's
clone in
crazy.
5 years. 5 years, like right right when we hit that singularity that's gonna happen, as
Clones
soon
everywhere, man. Attack of the
clones
Clones.
everywhere. They're gonna be
George
under.
Lucas, you can use that.
They're gonna
You
be
can use that
underneath
when
us.
you remake Star Wars.
Oh shit! Wait, what?
I heard that they're gonna remake Star Wars.
They're
dude.
remaking.
They're gonna
Wait,
remake our
remaking, or are they
childhood.
going to reboot it?
I don't know.
They
They're
can't.
gonna do something
They
with
can't
Star Wars, dude.
remake it.
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
It could never
You know,
happen.
what
Not in
I'd
a
really,
million
what
years.
I'd really love to is to see
I would
like
hate to live in a world where they just remake movies.
I want to
and
see.
there's nothing.
I want to see.
Hey man,
so-
be cool.
at Blockbuster Video, I want to see a prequel of the Star Wars franchise. Like,
Whoa,
what
you're
happened
blowing
before
my
this
mind, dude.
stuff, dude? Like,
How did Boba Fett become Boba Fett?
how did Boba Fett become Boba
What was
Fett?
he like as a child?
Yeah.
I want to know.
I want to know too.
Did he
like,
have a weird haircut?
well,
I gotta know.
I gotta know. Yeah. Like, I want to see how did Darth Vader become Darth Vader?
Yeah, how does that even happen, dude?
Yeah, like, okay, like, how
Give
do you
me the
get,
backstory of all
did he
these
like
cool
burn
characters.
his chest or something? Like, why does
Yeah.
he sound like that? Why does he
I
sound
don't
like
get it.
James Earl Jones?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we need to know.
we need to know.
George Lucas, make it happen.
You know what, guys? The one thing we do, you know, we're throwing some shop talk right now. This is an ad. We do want to tell the public you need to start rewinding your videos. We're sick
Yeah,
of
we're really
charging
sick
you
of
the
this,
extra
all right?
15 cents to rewind your videos. It's costing you guys a fortune. Please rewind your videos. I mean, the number of times we've had to, God, we have this stupid machine, and it's like you
It's
have to
like we
load
don't
it.
have anything else to do.
It destroys.
No, we have movies to watch.
We do. We have movies to watch. That's all we're doing in the Blockbuster
We're
video.
starting this thing called the internet. Like, it's been around, but like
we're really starting
yeah,
it,
we're
guys.
really making it happen.
Yeah. My
We're
name
gonna
is
make it
Al
so
Gore.
everything-
My
yeah.
name is Al.
I'm Steve Jobs.
You're
We
Steve-
work at Blockbuster.
Al and Steve.
yeah.
We work at Blockbuster. You've been building computers for a little bit now.
Just a little, yeah.
and
you know,
I
it's a
don't know what
hobby.
I don't know what I've been doing. I've been kind of fucking around a little
Yeah,
bit.
you just
But,
yeah.
yeah,
You've been around.
I've been
You've
around. Yeah, a little bit. I've been working to the Blockbuster ops.
I mean,
But,
aren't you VP at this point in time?
Yeah, that's my side hustle. I don't like to talk about that. But
That's your side gig. Anyways, Blockbuster
anyways,
Video.
Blockbuster
Come
Video.
now.
You know, we have a
We have a customer.
we have a customer that came in, and he has a personal testimony.
I thought this was Radio Shack.
Oh fuck!
Shit.
It's down the street.
Yeah. we
God
gotta
damn
get
it.
that.
Thank you.
Oh god, yeah. I'll see you later.
And we're not family video either, all right, people.
What?
Yeah,
What's
is
family
that?
video?
I don't get.
Oh, we have another customer coming in.
Hey, is this family video?
No, this isn't family video, but this is
Shit!
God damn it, this is Blockbuster. We have stuff. We got a porn section in the back, dude.
Come on, yeah, check
There's
out
like
our porn-
beads. Look at the beads. Walk through the beads, you'll see titties. God, oh fuck, we're on live. God damn it.
Hell yeah.
There is
Oh,
no, we don't have an adult section unless this is an adult podcast. That's being
Hey, do
played
you
now.
guys have Boner Jams 95?
Yeah, dude, we got it. We
Heck
just got
yes,
it.
bro.
We got 3 in, and 2 of them have already been taken. Like, we got them in this morning, and
No
2
way,
guys
dude.
have already been in. So get it now, because I think there's a guy that just went back there. Okay, I'll see you later. So please come to the Blockbuster Video. I mean,
Give me that Boner Jams, dude. Come on.
What?
Hand them over. Hand
No,
them over.
I don't have them. They're in the
Give-
back, dude.
Dude, hand it over. Give me the stuff.
Dude, stop it.
Give me the Boner Jams, dude.
Put your dick away. Put your dick away.
No, no.
Put your dick away.
I know someone just crashed through the Blockbuster.
Oh God.
What the heck was
What
that?
the hell?
Was
Get the
it alien?
security. Get the security
She's got
guy.
nice tits. Oh,
Oh
God.
God, that's really fucked up, dude. Don't sexualize. Unless she wants to be sexualized.
Yeah, let's try to be
Go-
progressive. This
Did
is
she
the
fall?
90s.
Did she fall into the porn section? Because maybe we can.
Oh no, she destroyed the porn section.
Fuck, dude, the
She's
boner
setting all
jams.
the VHS
Oh
on
no,
fire.
the boner jams.
Oh no, save the
God.
boner jams.
Well, she's in the porn section. We can sexualize her.
It's all good. Oh,
God damn.
we'll see you later
We'll
from
see you later
Blockbuster Video.
from
Come
Blockbuster
before
Video.
the porn's gone.
Come before the porn's gone. This business is definitely not gonna fail. And
Yo.
we're back.
Hey.
Hey, we're back to talk more about this Marvel movie, Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. I loved it.
Loved every second of it.
Like, probably my favorite Marvel movie.
What did you guys think about the soundtrack for this movie?
It was
I
fine.
mean, it was 90s theme.
They had like one 90s song that they really played, and that was Gwen Stefani's "I'm Just a
No,
Girl."
they also had Waterfall. That was also a 90s song.
It was so
When did they
out of
play that?
place. They played
Yeah.
it when they were driving up to the military base.
Yeah, like the soundtrack isn't that memorable. It's not really like used
Memorable.
well. It's not. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's 90s. I don't care.
It's 90s, yeah. But
yeah, it's forgettable.
And they're
I don't
also-
really care.
it's also like 90s songs that I feel like a lot of people don't like.
And it's like
Older people will know this. Like,
really older people. I grew up.
How old are you,
listening-
Carl?
26.
yeah, I'm 25,
Jesus.
so fuck you.
you're old.
Older, these goddamn older people, they don't have any sense of
Hey.
style.
Hey,
what was
little
that?
man.
What is-
Hey, little guy.
Hey.
Love the 90s.
Love the 90s. Don't call yourself a 90s kid. I was here
I
in
only like
1992.
the Gwen Stefani song, and it was
Great.
used as an inappropriate time. So
Yeah.
What, during a fight scene?
yeah, like she knows nothing about the 90s. They're just like, oh, this would be nice here. It's not like it has anything to do with the character.
Yeah, there really wasn't any sort of reference. Like, it
It's
could have
not
been
like
said
in Guardians
anytime.
of the Galaxy where like he has that Walkman, so he
For
knows
a
those
reason.
songs.
Mm.
Yeah, they're from his mom's memory. Here, it's just like, oh, Guardians of the Galaxy did it. We don't really care why they did. Let's just throw in some.
Yeah, let's just
Songs, yeah.
the Guardians of the Galaxy liked old, or it showed that people like old songs. Let's just set
Let's
the
just-
mood by playing old songs, regardless of whether or not they fit with the story.
It kind of fits with the story. And the only reason I would say kind of.
Waterfall.
No, not Waterfall. I'm talking about No Doubt, I'm Just a Girl.
Well, yeah,
I'm just a girl.
Yeah.
never heard that song before. I told Wally
But
this
it only
too.
kind of fits because it's
Because she's
About
just a girl.
she's a woman.
pretty much.
just a woman.
I mean, I think what they were trying to do with this movie is kind of like what Black Panther did. But, like, Black Panther was African culture based, you know, first huge, you know, black character, you know,
He wasn't that big.
But you know, but
Yeah, he's
this
a
way,
normal-sized
but this
He's a
way, but this
normal-sized
time it
human.
was gender based. You know,
The gender had nothing to do with this movie.
Not
Like
at
they've
all.
been pushing like in the like
Except
this movie's
they-
getting a lot of flack of people being like, this is feminazi propaganda. It has nothing to do
There's
with
like
that.
3 lines that make it
They-
seem kind of
Yeah, and they're all the
feminist.
flashback things, like where the
No.
dude bro's like, "Oh, you know why it's called a cockpit?"
Well, there's
like
there's
that
that.
flyboy character.
Yeah.
This,
But
like,
then
she
there's
could have been
the-
a man, she could have been a woman. That's not really integral to the story.
Well,
which-
but the line where the little girl of her like co-pilot is like, "You're setting a bad example for women." Like it's
Well, for your kid. She
yeah,
didn't
but
say
it's
for women.
that's what they're
And that
fucking
kid
implying.
yeah,
like,
it's like
that whole relation. It was weird and forced. And it's like, I could possibly die. Do you really
how
want?
does that little girl remember her Auntie Carol if that happened 6 years ago?
Oh yeah,
and
the
she's-
girl hasn't aged at all.
Yeah.
Like there is flashbacks of the
Well,
girl
she's
the
like
same
11,
age.
so like she was like 5, like when her
Yeah.
aunt died. Like how does she remember her? All
But
that
the
well, to be honest?
flashbacks were the same. Like she looked
She looked
similar.
a little younger. She
A
looked
little,
young,
maybe, not
yeah.
6 years.
Yeah.
But
Also, my biggest grievance with the movie, she goes to a bar, she's having the flashback, she remembers playing Street Fighter 2 in 1989. I don't think so, dude.
I
That didn't come
don't
out then.
think
Inaccurate. Inaccurate.
anachronistic. Get out of here. How dare you? That
What was your question again?
Yeah,
What do
Carl.
we think of the music in this movie?
no.
But then after that, I was talking about how Black Panther was,
Oh.
you know,
Like this is just the
Okay.
woman Black Panther.
I would say Wonder Woman is the woman Black Panther. 'cause
But
then
that's
you
a
have
different.
The whole
That's
society.
DC.
That's DC, but you have the whole society of strong women. So that was like more integral to what that gender was. This, like, she's a woman, but that doesn't really, in the end, matter. Like, the whole thing is could have been played by a man or a woman. It's just we're putting a woman what typically is a man's role.
Which is good.
Yeah,
Like that's the type
but
of
it's not like
like
they're pushing like, oh, only a woman can do this. They're like,
No.
oh, anyone can
you
do
didn't
this.
feel
No.
like that when they were having like the whole flashback getting back up off your feet when getting knocked down, like they
Well,
went through all those almost
you know what?
women.
I think that's a good
Well,
point. 'cause
like a nerd could have that
a
same
nerd could have
flashback.
had the same, but I think like a woman, especially like in those circumstances, like being in the military, is probably going to be a lot more bullied than
Yeah.
even a nerdy man.
Well,
would
yeah,
be in
but
that
I didn't
circumstance.
get what happened to her on the beach. Why was she on the beach? Like
She just fell.
She just fell?
She has really bad coordination. she just
she like
has
tries to
really
go
bad
off a jump
equilibrium. Yeah.
on her bike and falls and then gets back up, and then
Falls off the
I
ropes
guess
in
they could
training.
have they
Yeah.
could have
gets
leaned
back up.
more into that, like, oh, like, you know, you got to pick yourself up no matter what. Which, I mean, that's not just a woman-based thing. That's
That's an
everyone
everyday
based.
well,
thing.
but that's what makes a good like equality role is that it's
Yeah.
not you're writing roles specifically for women. You're just casting women in roles that could be
Yeah.
for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So like
And I
you're,
think that's more progressive than just
yeah,
being-
that's what true equality is that like, but it would be funny to see somebody like a dude try and fit in her super tight outfit. Like I mean
Like, oh,
that
just
it's like
make
it
my
kind of
boobs
had
look
to be a
big.
woman because they made
Yeah.
they made the outfit for a woman. Sorry, that was a dumb joke.
Jude Law could have wore that outfit.
Dude, okay, let's talk about this.
Surprise! I
Jude
loved his
Law-
eyes.
I loved his eyes. I love Jude Law. I think
just wanna
he's.
stare at him.
I mean, he was great in the like Holmes and Watson thing that he did with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Uh,
But you always know he's gonna be the bad guy.
he wasn't
he's-
the bad guy in that, but he's always going to be that like the mentor. Like he's
the
like
mentor.
he's
yeah.
always that mentor. Maybe he'll go evil. Maybe he
Mhm.
won't. Like in the new Fantastic Beasts, he's Newt's mentor. Like he's the
Well,
guy.
He's Dumbledore. Isn't
He's
he?
Dumbledore, but yeah, he's like Newt's mentor. In this, he's the mentor, but the mentor turns out to be evil. In
Yeah, I don't know.
in
Kinda.
in the Holmes and or the
You kind of made like a what was it, Karate Kid joke earlier on? Because yeah, I guess that dynamic did feel very
God.
Karate Kid.
well, because it was all like you have to focus, you have to like free yourself from your
and then
emotions.
At the end, it's like, no, it's bullshit.
It's like
She
no,
can do
it
whatever
is.
she
It
wants."
100% is.
Yeah.
And it was just like yeah, it felt so like forced. Like, and they also put
I guess okay.
Did
And
she-
another thing, like controlling your emotions. I guess that could lean more into the female thing of like typically it said, oh, females can't control their emotions
yeah,
or
they're
they're more
too
emotional.
emotional.
So they didn't lean into that too much, but that might be where that kind of line is coming from, where it
Yeah.
could be like, no, don't tell me what to do.
Yep.
So there's a little bit of that, which I don't know, was nice. It wasn't like beating you over the head with it. It was just kind of, I guess, appreciated that was like subtly put in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it felt more like because that's also something you see in a lot of coming of age stories is like the kid is like I mean obviously teenagers are insanely emotional people,
Right.
and so in a lot of like coming of age or like teen movies like that,
Yeah. And it's
it
like
is-
she's a grown one, but they're still treating her like a child.
yeah. Well, she also doesn't remember a lot of her past.
She also doesn't
and-
age.
Yeah,
I guess.
no.
Because
A lot of people don't age.
still confused of how these powers work. Like they gave her Kree blood, but she also has this power core in her too.
Yeah, I
And
don't.
Doesn't who could know? Who could know?
Yeah, it was a very convoluted backstory. I don't know
Alright,
what else.
closing thoughts.
Yeah, what else do we want to talk about with this movie, or what do we want to say in argument towards this being a good movie, this being an interesting movie, this being a bad movie, this being a not interesting movie?
I don't know. I think like with all these Marvel movies, it's perfectly fine. It's a fun way to use 2 hours. Am I gonna remember it anytime soon? No. But it gives me context for the next movie, and that's all these movies are. It's just context for the next movie. And some of them are a lot more impactful. This is like an in-between story to like the bigger stuff.
So we saw Us last night. Clearly there's so many differences between these two movies. But so you said it's not a waste of my time to spend 2.5 hours watching this movie, or 2 hours and like 10 minutes watching this movie.
If you're invested in this franchise, I think you're gonna see these movies kind of no matter what, just to get the context for the bigger movies. Like you're just kind of sucked in. I guess for like my movie going experience, I do like action movies and I do like superhero movies. So like I get enough out of these movies. They're not the most memorable. They're not my favorite, but I do enjoy them enough.
Okay.
For something like Us, I'm like, oh, this is a fairly original idea from like a newer director who has more a vision in mind is actually saying something with his movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also a genre piece, like where it's horror, but it's also saying something. Like, I guess at the end of the day, these Marvel movies aren't really saying anything.
Yeah.
that they haven't already said a
Yeah,
bunch
and
of
they're
times
not-
before. Like, they're all like great power comes with great responsibilities. You could apply that to any of these Marvel movies,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Carl, final thoughts.
Stanley. I think this or Endgame was his last cameo before he passed.
For a Marvel movie,
For a
he's
Marvel
also going to be in another. Like, I
What
like
movie?
that the cameo in this was like Mallrats, because he's also going to be in another Kevin Smith movie. I think is his last cameo, or it's the guy who does the was it Jay and Silent Bob. So it's like
Is that Kevin James?
Kevin Smith.
Or Smith?
Yeah,
No.
Kevin Smith is Silent Bob. Jay is his friend.
Okay.
So that guy like has
Yeah,
gone
yeah,
to
yeah,
directing, and he's gonna Stanley's in his movie, I guess. So
Hmm.
I think that's the last thing he's gonna
He
be
did.
an appearance in.
When does that come out?
I don't know.
Okay.
Ooh. So, other than that,
Other than that, yeah, I thought it was a good movie. I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't, great, but it was Marvel. They usually pump out good movies.
do you feel required to see these at this point? Like, what if you missed one? No, I'm not gonna force you to miss Endgame, but what if what if
of
the
all the
next
ones
one
to miss.
after that? Yeah, that'd be hilarious. The next one after that. What if we're just like Spider-Man:
From
Far
Home?
From Home? What if we're just like, you know what? We're not, or no, Shazam. What if we don't see Shazam?
That's
Shazam.
DC, my guy.
That's DC. Oh, I don't give a
Yeah.
shit.
That's DC.
What's coming out
But
after
it seems
that?
like a Marvel movie.
It is Far From Home for Marvel.
No,
Yeah, it's-
after Far From Home.
I don't
After
know.
that,
I thought there was one more.
Or
that did-
12.
No, I think
was-
after that it would be like Doctor Strange 2 or
Oh,
Black
God.
Panther 2.
What if we stopped? What if we didn't see Doctor Strange 2? Would
I-
you be devastated? Would you be like, wow?
Would you be devastated if I told you I haven't even seen the first Doctor Strange? I mean,
why, Wally?
No.
No.
I didn't want to see that one. I ended up seeing it. It was okay.
That's fine.
Yeah. I like the
Ant-Man
special
did it
effects.
better.
Ant-Man did
I
it
feel
better.
like special effects wise, I liked what like this just it felt too much like Inception. like, it was
and
just like a-
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Doctor Strange was just like a
Very
Marvel
Inception-y.
Inception.
It's cool. It's cool
yeah.
enough. I
Just
mean, it
watch
wasn't great.
Inception.
Yeah, or watch the animated Doctor Strange movie they made in the early 2000s.
Ooh,
It's
yeah.
the same storyline.
It's the same
It's better.
storyline. It's Benedict Cumberbatch too, which is
Yeah,
weird.
which is really weird.
Yeah.
I thought he
But-
played it pretty well though, Doctor Strange.
He was strange.
He was weird.
Oh man.
And I think he was a doctor. I don't know
Yeah.
if he still is. I think he was at some point.
He's a bit
But how
strange, though.
earth-shattering would upset would I be if I missed one?
Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't miss it. I mean, I wouldn't see it with you guys. I would just take somebody else's
He's like,
to see it.
No,
this is the
but
last.
what if-
Carl's like,
what
this
if
is
you
the
just
last time I'm watching
couldn't
a
see
Marvel
it?
movie with
If I
you
couldn't
guys.
see it, then I'd just wait until Blu-ray and then buy
What
it
if
and
you
see it.
couldn't see it? What if it's just like you
That's-
can't see it anyway?
He'd be devastated. Look,
Would you be
he has the look
devastated?
of
Even though these
devastation on
aren't
his
great
face.
movies.
I guess it would depend on the character. Like which
they have you
which one,
brainwashed.
which movie.
He enjoy-
Like
hey,
I
he
just
enjoys these
I
movies.
enjoy
No,
them.
he
Yeah.
enjoys them enough. That's the thing. He doesn't enjoy them. He enjoys them enough to keep
They got
going.
him hooked.
They got him
Like,
hooked.
Yeah,
Oh,
he likes the idea.
I
of
am
superheroes.
biased. I mean, I do like the movies. I'm gonna go see them.
Aquaman did it better.
Aquaman did it better. Hashtag Aquaman did it better. With anything, if you're on Twitter, if you see any tweet, just hashtag Aquaman did it better.
Yeah.
Trump signs a declaration telling colleges they need to support more free speech stuff. Aquaman did it better.
Aquaman is so much free speech.
Yep.
The
all
other
the
parties in it.
free speeches. Okay.
So
yeah.
that shows you how much me and Ryan were interested in this movie. We'd
Yeah.
rather talk about
Hey,
Aquaman at the end of
like
the day.
it was fine. That's the thing is that like Aquaman
It
was
just bad shit
bad.
crazy,
Yeah,
so
it was
more entertaining.
It was
for me
bad.
personally.
Yeah, it was bad enough. I don't think it was good. I think it was bad enough that it was enjoyable, as opposed to this, which
It was,
was
like,
not good
ambitious,
enough to
too.
be really good, or not bad
Yeah.
enough to be really good. So, I guess that's where we stand. Carl, would you fuck with this movie again? We already know his answer, guys.
Come on, yeah.
Yeah, he'd shove it up his ass.
Clean up.
Yeah,
Right up there.
right up
What's
there.
our rating system again?
Would you fuck with this movie? Wouldn't you fuck with this movie?
We're gonna come up with a better
Wally
one,
said
but
he had another
I
one.
have one in the works. It's gonna be the end all be all of our rating systems. For now, we're going with would you fuck with this movie or
Yes
would you
or
not
no.
fuck with this movie?
Okay, then yes.
So why don't we do
I w-
fuck with it or fuck it? Like, would you fuck with this movie or would you like fuck it? Like fuck it, get rid of it.
okay.
Or would you fuck it as like the good thing? Like, do you want to fuck this movie or
Now
do you
you're
want to just?
confusing me again.
Would you? No,
you
I
fuck
got
it?
it. I got it.
Okay.
Would you fuck this movie raw dog or would you wear a
He's like-
condom?
I'd wear a condom.
You'd wear a condom for this movie?
Yes.
Carl, wearing a condom is bad.
Yeah.
That's the bad one. You
it
want to
makes your
fuck
dick
this?
fall
You want to
off, dude.
fuck a movie raw dog?
Yeah.
This is so gross.
So tough.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
We're sorry we call
we're
this
sorry.
the film fucks.
the
in
film
the
fucks.
first place.
I'm not.
I mean, I'm the one that came up with the name.
No, you're
Spoilers,
not. I
yeah.
did. And then
okay,
my dad
okay.
said it was funny.
Okay, so what about this for?
Okay.
It happened.
I came up with
No,
the name.
What about
We-
this for a rating system? Orally fuck is like
No.
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 Carl, just be
Okay,
quiet.
The anal fuck.
The anal
The
fuck
anal
is
fuck is like
I would-
is the most.
yeah.
Okay.
God.
Getting on with it. I would not fuck with this movie, but I'll leave a disclaimer. Like, if you enjoy Marvel, you've seen this movie already. You probably got a little bit out of it. This is just context for the next movie. No one's gonna remember it in the grand scheme of things, but I don't know. It's perfect. There's worse ways to waste 2 hours, but I would not fuck with this movie again.
You know what, guys? Don't get brainwashed. Don't let Marvel do this to you. Don't let the fucking Disney company own this shit. Don't break it. Don't see the fucking
Tear
movie.
down the
Don't
system, man.
see this movie. Don't see Endgame. Don't see Far From Home. Don't let them suck you in. They've got you. They're gonna start implanting
Got you
stuff in your
by-
fucking
in a
brains,
vice.
and you guys are gonna be okay with it because fucking. I don't know. Fucking Peter Quill is gonna be making jokes about it, and they're gonna tell you you're
Who the
gonna.
fuck is Peter Quill?
Guardians of the Galaxy,
I don't
Fuck
fucking
you.
care.
They're gonna get.
Yeah.
They're gonna. Yeah, Peter Quill's gonna be there making quips, and Rocket Raccoon and Groot are gonna be like.
I'm begging up Ryan on this. Fuck this
Yeah,
shit.
they're gonna
I
be.
like Spider-Man. Just watch Spider-Man.
Yeah,
movies.
Spider-Man's fine.
Yeah.
Let's watch the animated
Support
ones first.
Sony.
I'd rather.
Support Sony.
I'd rather watch
Save
the.
Sony.
They've done better stuff. Venom was better than this.
They need. All right.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse
Marvel,
was better
get the
than
rights
this.
back to Sony.
Fuck.
Just give it back to Sony.
Fuck Marvel. Fuck this bullshit. They're not making good content. If they want to keep their, if you feel like you're brainwashed, go and or don't see one movie. And I bet
go
you the
outside
next
and read
movie,
a comic book instead.
the
all right.
next movie you produce, if nobody goes and sees the next movie, if the next movie that Marvel produces will be 10 times better than anything we've seen in the
That's
last
true.
20 years.
But
That's
that being
all we
said,
need.
who's excited for Endgame?
Oh
That's
god,
what I'm
Endgame,
saying.
guys, we're
Hell
gonna see
yeah,
the shit out of
dude.
that.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm so excited.
You know what, guys?
Fuck off.
Yeah, we're just gonna end it unceremoniously. Fuck off.